So I did a video on predatory staring, and I have a commenter who's asking if someone can do this with your pictures. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. This commenter says, can someone do predatory staring online with your pictures? They try to imagine what you look like under your clothes. So I would say yes. Having worked with sex offenders and predators for a long time, they do this with pictures and videos, child sex predators especially, which is one of the reasons why I don't think that children should be posted online or at this point even on television. People do, save, keep, and download your photos. And now with, artificial intelligence, they can also adjust your photos, attach your face to different bodies and things like that. And so, and then also create videos as well. So adult videos with artificial intelligence. That's happened with some celebrities thus far. So, it goes a lot of times when people are staring like that at your photos, or they're sort of lamenting and foaming at the mouth at what you're looking like, they're imagining a lot of things, and they're imagining things that are highly inappropriate, and they have some sort of fantasy that they would love to, bring it to life. And a lot of times it could be someone that you don't even know. You have a lot of people that are looking at your photos and things like that, and social media and with third-party apps. A lot of people do that anonymously. Why do you think people want to be able to look at your social media anonymously and hide their account? They want to go undetected, probably because they're not supposed to be up there. They may be married. They don't want you to know. But a lot of things are done in secret, and a lot of times people save your photos and download them to their devices or their hidden folders, and things of that nature. So you kind of never know. And it's the risk that you take when you have anything online in any sort of capacity, that people are just sort of, they have an imagination, they're fantasizing about you, they're creating stories and narratives and just sort of fantasies in their mind about you. And this happens a lot with children. This also happens quite a bit in cases where there's pretty extreme stalking. So a lot of times people will have picture cutouts, maybe as a shrine to the person that they are obsessed with or that they are stalking. And sometimes, it could just be, like you might not be my usual type, or I'm never going to tell you that I have an attraction to you. Maybe I'm married. Maybe I have a family with children. Maybe you're a celebrity. But yeah, I'm going to imagine that we have this great, I'm going to imagine a whole lot of things just with your photo or your video, and I'm going to come up with a complete fantasy and daydream and just escape thinking about you and me and, whatever it is we do together in my fantasies. So that's, sometimes it can be benign. People just sort of have their fantasies with age appropriate people. Other times they turn into a fanatic. Sometimes they can turn into a stalker. But a lot of times too, they can be doing things, sort of having that imaginary scenario, predatorily looking at people that is highly inappropriate. So thanks so much for asking that. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, and I'll talk to you soon.